Welcome to another exciting class, the Business Studies class. Today we will be looking at the topic, the need for monitoring and control of chemicals. The need for the monitoring and control of chemicals. And by the end of the lesson, you should be able to give the meaning of monitoring. We'll look at the definition of chemical. You should be able to define chemical, state the forms of chemicals, then we'll identify the characteristics of chemicals suitable and not suitable for use. Then we'll explain the need for the monitoring and controlling food, drugs, and chemicals. We'll begin by looking at the meaning of the word monitoring. Monitoring can simply be defined as watching or checking a person or thing or a situation carefully. Monitoring means to watch something closely, to check something, to make sure that a particular person is under watch or under check. And the major reason for monitoring is to ensure that the rules and regulations guiding how things should be done are being adhered to. You know, there are some people that even when they know the right thing to do, but because they feel that nobody is watching them, nobody is checking what they are doing, they tend to do another. So monitoring is very important to ensure that the rules and regulations stated out are being adhered to. This is also carried out to ensure the compliance and the control in the production and use of chemicals. Some of these chemicals are hazardous, some of them are toxic, some of them are corrosive. So how these chemicals are used for production needs to be monitored and checked so that the people using them, they don't use them against the specified directions. Now, how do we define chemical? Chemical can be defined as any substance which is capable of being broken down or combined with its kind or other substances under a suitable environment to become a new substance, having a completely different character, behavior, quality, or use. A chemical can be defined as a particular substance that is capable of being broken down and then combined with its kind or other substances under a suitable environment. What do we mean by this? When a chemical is in the raw form, it is still mixed with other chemicals to be able to create something that is entirely different from its original form. There are three forms of chemicals. We have solid chemical, we have liquid chemical, and we have the gaseous chemical. Chemicals can be in form of solid, liquid, or gas. And we have examples of solid chemicals like ice, like gold, like aluminium, copper, iron, and so on and so forth. We also have examples of liquid chemicals. Liquid chemicals like our petrol, the crude oil, petrol, kerosene, the air freshener, water, milk, syrups, and so on. All these are liquid chemicals. Then we have the gaseous chemicals like our cooking gas, oxygen, carbon dioxide. All these are gases. All these are chemicals that are used by we as humans. And when these chemicals are not properly monitored, it can either serve as a friend or a foe to us. That means it can serve as a friend. That means if we use it under a suitable condition, it's friendly to us. That means it doesn't harm us in any way. But when we use it against the speculated state, or we use it against how it should be used, it can pose damage to us as individuals, to animals, to our environment at large. And that's the reason why monitoring and the control of chemical usage is very, very important, especially when it comes to production. You can agree with me that everything being produced by humans have one atom or level of chemical in it. 99% of things being used by we humans are made of chemicals. ranging from our food, our processed food, the drugs we take, even the water, the drinks, the machines, tools, chairs, tables, even the clothes we put on, the shoes we wear. Everything is made of chemical. It's a combination of both chemical and natural products. And that's the reason why the monitoring and the control of this chemical is very, very important. Now let's look at the characteristics of chemicals. We're going to look at the characteristics of chemicals, the ones suitable for use and the ones that are not suitable for use. What are the characteristics of chemicals suitable for use, which you can also call the non-hazardous chemicals? The non-hazardous chemicals are the chemicals that are suitable for our use, while the ones not suitable for use are the hazardous chemicals. What are their characteristics? The number one characteristic for the chemical suitable for use is that it's very safe. It's safe to use. It is healthy and safe to use, like our bathing soaps, our body sprays. If we use them in the right way, they are safe to use. While the ones not suitable for use are dangerous. Imagine you playing with sulfur or playing with acid. All these ones are not suitable for use because they are dangerous. Then the ones suitable for use, characteristics number 2 is harmless. The ones suitable for use are harmless. That means they are danger-free. They can't harm you. That is when you use it in the right way. But the ones that are not suitable for use, they have harmful traits in them. They have harmful traits in them, especially when you use them against the narrative. Number 3 characteristic of chemicals suitable for use is that it can be inhaled and ingested. We have edible chemicals. These edible chemicals can be inhaled, can also be ingested into our body, either through our mouth, through our nose, or through our skin. You have inhalers. They are good for our use. The ones we ingest, our processed food, our body creams, our body sprays, all these are the chemicals suitable for use. They can be inhaled, they can be ingested. The water we drink, they have chemicals in them. The food we eat, the drugs we take, they have chemicals in them. So these ones can be inhaled and can be ingested. But the ones not suitable for use, they cannot be inhaled or ingested. When you inhale or ingest them, they are harmful to your internal organs and to your health at large. Also, these chemicals suitable for use, they have non-irritant features. They don't cause irritation on your skin when you use them in the right way. But the ones that are not suitable for use, they can cause irritation on your skin. They react. You see your skin when a dangerous chemical touches it, you see your skin reacting. You see your body reacting to it because it has the irritant properties in it. Then also, for the chemicals suitable for use, they are non-toxic. That means they don't contain toxins. They don't contain toxic substances that are harmful to our health and to our body. While the ones suitable for use, they are toxic in nature. They are toxic in nature, and that's the reason why we need to be guarded when they are being used. The characteristics of chemicals suitable for use, number 6, is non-corrosive. That means it cannot destroy other materials they come in contact with. They are non-corrosive. Non-corrosive chemicals are chemicals that when it comes in contact with another chemical, it doesn't destroy it. It leaves it in the origin. It doesn't destroy, it doesn't produce a negative reaction. But the ones that are not stable for use, they are highly corrosive. They can destroy any chemical that they come in contact with. They produce a negative reaction to chemicals that they come, other chemicals that they come in contact with. Characteristic 7, for the chemicals suitable for use, they are non-radioactive. They are non-radioactive. That means they don't release energy in form of waves or particles. There are some chemicals that when you open them, looking at it from afar, you see something like a wave on it. It releases energy in form of wave, in form of particles. Those ones, anyone that does not release is suitable for use. But the ones that have this energy that comes out from it in form of wave or particles, which means it's radioactive, they are not suitable for our use. And the last characteristic is, for the ones not suitable for use, it is non-flammable. It is non-flammable. That means it cannot easily catch fire, except if you use it in the wrong way. They are non-flammable. Like your body spray, if you don't move it close to fire, you are safe. Your body creams, the hair fresheners, all these are non-flammable. But for the ones that are not suitable for our use, they are highly flammable. You have the likes of petrol, kerosene. They tell you to keep away from fire. Most of these chemicals, they put the instruction on it, keep away from fire, because they are not suitable for our direct use. So these are the characteristics of chemicals, the ones suitable for use and the ones that are not suitable for use. Now, there is something we need to know about chemicals. When chemicals are not properly handled or monitored, they can lead to loss of life and properties. When these chemicals are not used the way it's supposed to be used, when it is used against the narrative, it can cause danger to our lives, even the life of animals and properties and our environment at large. That is the essence for the need for the monitoring and control of chemicals. Now let's look at the need for monitoring and controlling food, drugs, and chemicals. Remember I said it that most of the food we eat, the drugs we take, and other mild chemicals we use on our bodies, they contain chemical in them. And there is an agency that has been set up by the government to regulate, to monitor, and to control the use of these drugs. And that agency is NAFDAC, National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control. National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control. It is a duty of NAFDAC to regulate, monitor, and control the importation, the exportation, the manufacture, the distribution, the sale, and the use of food, drugs, and chemicals. Remember, these things go into our body, and once it goes in, it doesn't come out so easily, except it either damages your body or it carries out the function it's supposed to carry out in your body. So the main essence, the main reason why the importation of these food, drugs, and chemicals is important, the exportation of it is important, the manufacturing of it, the creation of awareness about the existence of the chemical, the distribution, the sale, and the use of these food, drugs, and chemicals is very important. And it is the duty of NAFDAC to make sure that these are in place. So let's look at the major need for monitoring and controlling food, drugs, and chemicals by NAFDAC. Number one, this is to ensure the compliance with standard specifications designated and approved by the Council. Before the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control can allow you to set up an industry or a factory where food, drugs, and chemicals are either used or produced, there are some standard specifications that must be put on ground. An approval must be given before your company or your industry can start operation. So what NAFDAC does is to ensure that every factory or company where food, drugs, and chemicals are being produced, they comply with the standard specification and designated and approved by NAFDAC as a council. They ensure that they obey all the stated specifications given by them. Another need or another reason why NAFDAC regulates the activities of the users of food, drugs, and chemicals is to ensure that people that are less knowledgeable and completely ignorant are not allowed to work with chemical or come near it. I said it that a chemical can be a friend or a foe. That means a chemical can be a friend or an enemy, depending on how it is used or how it is handled. So one thing that NAFDAC does is to ensure that people that have no knowledge on the use of chemical and how it works are not allowed to work with chemical or come near it, so that it doesn't damage them or they don't use it to damage the lives of other people and the environment at large. Number 3 need is that they monitor the utilization of controlled chemical substances. There are some chemicals that are not allowed to be used anyhow. There are some chemicals that before it can even be used at all, it must be properly followed up and monitored. So NAFDAC ensures that before these chemical substances can be used, they are properly controlled for utilization. They monitor how these chemicals are used by the producers or anyone who needs the chemical. They monitor the utilization or the use of controlled chemical substances so that the users of these chemicals don't use it to damage the lives of other people. Also, they ensure appropriate investigation into the premises and the raw materials being used. Like I said, before NAFDAC can allow your company or your factory or industry to start its operation, they do a thorough or a proper check. And that is the essence of giving you the NAFDAC registration number. So what they do is, before your company can be given the license to start operation, they come into the company's premises and they investigate the entire environment. From the cleanness of the environment, the machines being used, the raw materials being used, all these things are properly checked before you are allowed to start operation with it. Another thing they do, apart from the NAFDAC registration number they give, they also give you a certificate of operation. They give you a certificate to ensure that you have been approved by NAFDAC. Also, they establish relevant quality assurance system. That is the reason why it's mostly believed that any product, be it food, be it drugs, be it water, be it other chemicals, that have the NAFDAC registration number on it, is of the right quality. So they establish relevant quality assurance system together with SON, that's SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria. They work together with them to ensure that every food, every drug being produced is of quality assurance, is safe, is of the right quality for human use. Another need is to scrutinize the proper the disposal record of chemicals. Chemical waste or chemicals itself are not allowed to be disposed anyhow. Before chemicals are disposed, they are disposed through the right authority. They involve the Waste Management Board for the proper disposal of chemicals. And one thing that NAFDAC does is to ensure that as their chemical waste are being disposed, there is a record for it. That gives the chemical users the mind of not disposing their chemicals anyhow. So they scrutinize the disposal records. They come regularly to check how these companies and factories producing food, drugs, and chemicals, how they dispose their chemical waste. Another need for the monitoring and control of food, drugs, and chemicals is to ensure the safe distribution of foods, drugs, and chemicals. They ensure that after the producers have properly done a good job by producing something good, the distribution, that is to the users, still follow the right, is still safe. You see some producers who finish producing, the wholesalers and retailers will go and they will just go and change everything. They go and reproduce or reprocess whatever they have done just because they want to make more profit. So That's the reason why even NAFDAC, they go as far as monitoring the activities of wholesalers and retailers to ensure safe distribution of food, drugs, and chemicals to the consumers of these things. They also ensure the safe handling of foods, drugs, and chemicals. They ensure that these foods, drugs, and chemicals are properly handled from the manufacturing stage to the wholesaling stage to the retailing stage. They ensure the safe handling. They ensure that these food, drugs, and chemicals are not malhandled. Also, they ensure that the handlers of chemicals are properly kitted with safety gadgets. Chemicals are hazardous. Most of the chemicals that are used to produce other materials, at the raw form, they are highly toxic and hazardous. So one thing that NAFDAC does is to monitor the people who handle these chemicals too. They ensure that the people handling these chemicals are properly kitted with their safety gadgets. They ensure that they put on their coverall, their head cover, they cover their hands with gloves, they wear a safety boot, wear their goggle and so on to protect their body from their head to their toe, so that these chemicals they are using don't harm them directly. They also ensure that chemicals are not sold in residential areas. They ensure that chemicals are not even used or produced in residential areas. And that's the reason why any factory where these chemicals are used, they ensure that they are sited away from residential areas. Lastly, they ensure that food and pharmaceuticals, that's drugs, are not stored in the same place with pesticides and industrial chemicals. Pesticides, industrial chemicals, those ones are not safe for human use. They are either used on animals or used on pests or used on some dangerous things, unwanted things. So they ensure that it is not the same place where our food, our drugs, our water are being stored. That's the same place that pesticides and other industrial chemicals are being stored. So these are the things that NAFDAC ensures are in place so that food, drugs can be safe for our own use, and also chemicals are used in the right way. These are the needs, these are the reasons why the monitoring and the control of food, drugs, and chemicals is important. They are important for our safety and they are important for our own use. So with this, we come to the end of the lesson, the need for monitoring and control of chemicals. But before we go, let's take a recap of what we have learned. We started by looking at the meaning of the word monitoring, and we said monitoring means to watch or to check something. Checking so that the person complies with stated rules and regulations. Then we look at the meaning of chemical. It says any substance which is capable of being broken down, combined with its kind or other substances under a suitable environment to become something entirely new, something entirely different from the original form. And we said chemicals can be in form of liquid, solid, or gas. We also looked at the characteristics of chemicals suitable for use and the ones not suitable for use. And we explained that the chemicals suitable for use, they have features like being safe, being harmless, they are non-toxic, they are non-corrosive, they are non-flammable, and so on and so forth. But for the ones that are not suitable for use, they are toxic, they are flammable, they are corrosive, they are harmful, they contain toxins, which is not safe for our direct use. Then we looked at the needs for the monitoring and controlling of food, drugs, and chemicals by NAFDAC. So this is where we bring the lesson to a close. But before we go, let's take some few questions from our ExamGuide. 'Guide' app. 'Guide' 'app. 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 'Guide The ExamGuide app is a study app that is approved and good for everyone who wants to get success in all its examinations. We have questions and answers relating to all topics and all subjects. So let's take some questions from the ExamGuide app relating to what we have learned today. The first question says, the buyer of chemical must ensure the following are clearly stated on the label, except A, the name of the chemical, B, the channel of distribution of the chemical, C, the manufacturing and expiry date, D, the hazardous composition of chemicals, E, the name and address of the producer. So which one is not necessary for the buyer of chemicals to state? The name of the chemical is important to be on the label. The manufacturing and expiry date is important to be on the label. The hazardous composition of the chemical is important to be on the label. Also, the name and the address of the producer or the company or the factory where the product is from is expected to be on the label. The odd one out is the channel of distribution of the product. The next question says, which of the following product is conveyed through the pipeline? Which of the following product is conveyed through the pipeline? We have timber, crude oil, cement, steel, iron. Liquid chemicals are usually conveyed through the pipeline. The best means of transporting liquid chemicals is through the pipeline. So timber is not a liquid chemical, Cement is not a liquid chemical. Steel is not a liquid chemical. Iron is not a liquid chemical, but crude oil, which is option B, is a liquid chemical. So the best way of transporting crude oil is through the pipeline. The next question says, which of the following chemical characteristics is suitable for home use? Remember, we looked at the characteristics of chemicals suitable for use and the ones not suitable for use. So which of the following is suitable for home use? A, poisonous, B, flammable, C, harmful, D, healthy, E, irritating. Poisonous is one of the characteristics of chemicals not suitable for use. Flammable is one of the characteristics of chemicals not suitable for use. Harmful is one of the characteristics of chemicals suitable for use. Irritating or irritation is one of the attributes of chemicals suitable for use. But healthy, that's being safe or harmless, is one of the characteristics of chemicals suitable for home use. So the answer is option D, healthy. So with this, we come to the end of today's lesson. And I believe you have learned a lot on the need. You now know why the monitoring and control of chemicals is very important. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. See you in the next video.